Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about the Dawn of Darkness Master Mode event, and I'm going to be giving you all the sneaky strats, all the pro tips to really easily clear this on Master Mode. So we do a challenge series every month on the channel where we try and clear Master Mode with 3-star champions, and we've just recently completed it with 3 stars on this event, and it was all fairly easy, fairly straightforward, apart from the final chapter. I messed up a lot on Dormammu. That was just totally my bad. I was really hungover playing that day. So yeah, it's totally possible to do even with 3-star champions. Even 100% I believe is fully possible if you do have the right characters. But you know, as we go throughout the quest by quest, we're going to do a breakdown. I'm going to be telling you guys, you know, which are kind of the best matchups and characters to bring for various fights. But I think we should probably shout out some of the MVPs of this event, some characters that are really, really good for Dawn of Darkness. So Captain America is so good for fighting like Hood and Mordo, very, very useful champion for that. And also Ghost Rider, in general for clearing, like Captain America's an amazing champion. Magic is one of the Master Mode MVPs recently. Like, we are seeing so many characters and so many bosses with insane power gain. And the fact that Magic can not only like drain power with her level 2, but you can also apply a power lock is really, really valuable. And just for future Master Mode events, I think a 3-star Dormammu is going to be very, very useful because he has similar mechanics where he can control power and also lock it down with his level 2. So if you're looking for a really good champion to kind of invest in for future Master Mode events, where we might see some like crazy power gain, Dormammu seems like a really solid option for that. Coming to the arena, I think it's like next Thursday, so we only have about five days before you can get your hands on a 3-star Dormammu in arena. So you know, I'd grind the 3-star version of the champion just for any future events, because he might come in very, very useful for that. Next champion we have is Ronan. Ronan is amazing for Dormammu. That's pretty much it. You kind of want this guy ideally as a 4-star champion if you've already done the Realm of Legends, but if not, as a 3-star will suffice. If you're on a super budget and don't even have a 3-star, then you could probably do it with a 2-star as well if you play super well. Again, the only reason I messed up like so much when I was doing my Master Mode run with 3-star champions, I just kept on missing the timing. It was really stupid, but we got them down eventually. And then you have Daredevil as well. So Daredevil is just amazing versus the Hood if you don't want to have to worry about anything, especially if you have him as a 3-star dupe level 99, then you can just automatically evade all projectiles. Unfortunately, I didn't and died a little bit like a scrub when playing Daredevil, because he's like dupe level 70 at the moment as a 3-star. So I was like, he's probably gonna evade, and then he didn't. I played like such a scrub there. But we've got some easy, even if you don't have a Daredevil, Hood's like really easy to kill just by constantly baiting his special 1, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then finally, even if you have like a 3-star Star-Lord, he's like really good for clearing. Again, 3-star Star-Lord, I guess not everybody has that, but I assume by Master Mode you probably have like most of the 3-star champions. And if you do have a Scarlet Witch, obviously she is always an amazing answer to everything in the game. But in our 3-star Master Mode challenge this time, we like to we were trying to like take her out of the 3-star Master Mode challenges and look at ways that, you know, you can defeat the most difficult content without necessarily having to resort to using a Scarlet Witch, and that's the fun part of that. So I probably see these are some of the MVPs of the event. So if you're a newer player, if you're wondering which champions to rank up, those are all pretty good ones for the moment. So let's look at the first chapter. The first chapter of Ducks and Men features a Venom as the final boss. The kind of pro strategy when fighting Venom is just to evade the special 1. I very much suggest taking the middle path just because it's a little bit quicker. You have Vision, you have Cyclops, you have Iron Fist, which are all fairly easy to fight. I mean, Cyclops, you just got to evade the level 1, Vision and Iron Fist, very easy. Just got to kind of like dash backwards or block to avoid their specials. And then you have Rhino. Rhino can be a little bit tricky if you're not necessarily used to fighting a Rhino, but you just need to be aware that when he's charging, he's unstoppable. So you need to parry and hope that he doesn't charge through that, or kind of bait his special attacks and then quickly intercept after those. And then you have Venom as the final boss. No unblockables or anything too special there. Just if he hits you, he's going to hit really, really hard. And obviously on Master Mode, pretty much everybody has their level 3 active. So yeah, you just need kind of a hard-hitting champion for Venom. I think Magic's like a really, really good option. Guillotine, like any character will pretty much do in the first chapter. Then we move on to chapter 2, which features Master Mode Mordo. And Mordo is a very fun character to fight if you haven't already kind of battled him. Which, you know, the only time he's featured as a Master Mode boss was in the Doctor Strange events so far. But if you don't know the fundamentals of Mordo, is basically you can't attack Mordo whenever he's stunned, so you need to rely on either blocking and waiting him to use his heavy attack, or evading either one of his specials and then kind of intercepting there and getting your damage off there. It's a little bit tricky to do, but Mordo is one of those fights that you just need to keep on practicing and practicing. It looks like the easiest path for this chapter is to go Juggernaut, Deadpool, Star-Lord, Spider-Gwen, Yellow Jacket, and then you're going to port to the middle, fight Red Hulk, just bait the level 1 there. It's so easy to just continually bait the level 1 with Red Hulk, and then you find Mordo himself. A little bit of a tricky chapter and a tricky boss for beginners. Mordo's always a bit of a pain in the butt if you haven't had too much practice fighting him. Let's move on to the next chapter, which features a very wonderful power gain champion. A lot of power gain champions after chapter 2. So let's go to the final boss here, which is the Ghost Rider. Now, the easiest path and quickest by far is the middle. You have Black Bolt, who you have to fight either way. Luke Cage, very easy. Iron Man, very easy. Star-Lord, very easy. Electro, you probably want to bring like a Black Widow, a Crossbones, or an Elektra to ideally counter his damage reflection. That's probably your best bet there. And then on Ghost Rider, one of the interesting things about Ghost Rider is this is the only boss in the event and the only boss in Master Mode that actually doesn't have his level 3 active on the local node. I think this is a bit of an oversight by the developer, but the level 3 will be active everywhere else via the global node. But as soon as you kill that, well, he doesn't have one on his local node, so you don't need to worry about kind of pushing him to level 3 there. I wish I read that local a little bit better before I fought Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider is very, very easy to fight. You can just outrange his both Special 1 and Special 2. So Special 2 is kind of a Flame Breath, Special 1 is kind of a Whip attack. So yeah, you just got to slide back, evade those. Very easy to do, no particular timing that you need to nail, just kind of be well out of range. And there's not too much else you need to worry about Ghost Rider. You do have a limited amount of parries, but that doesn't matter so much as he's quite aggressive with his specials, so as long as you're kind of sliding back, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Then we move on to the next chapter, which is kind of where the fun starts beginning. It's where the challenge ramps up a little bit and you fight the first Master Mode Hood. So I think probably the easiest path for a lot of beginners in this chapter is the one that we took in the Freestyle Master Mode Challenge, which is just the one that kind of, once you get to the first teleporter, go A, and then it'll take you kind of around the outskirts of this map. You've like a Cyclops, a Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, a Beast, a Miss Marvel, then a Vision, then Hood. And that's also going to remove the global node from the map, which is going to make the Hood that you're fighting a little bit easier. One of the potential problems in this map is the first enemy you fight, Black Panther, but luckily he's the first enemy, so you know, if you have like a really, really bad fight against him, you can just exit the map and restart again. And the kind of golden rule with Black Panther is whenever he has an armor up buff, he's going to stun reflect, so if you parry, it's going to reflect the stun. So basically, try and bait heavy attacks by preemptively blocking, or kind of triggering like a Special 1 or Special 2, and then kind of getting your combo in there. And then when it gets to fighting the Hood, it's all about the Special 1. It's all about taking the fight very, very slow, just kind of like dash backwards, wait till he does the Special 1. It's very similar to Electro. If you fought on Electro, if you know how to bait a Special 1, it's very, very much like that. And just wait till the lightning starts kind of coming out of his hands. Like, look at his hands for the timing. And then as soon as that stops, then yeah, just go in and get your round of combo, and that should work out pretty well. I messed up so many times to it during my Freestyle Master Mode Challenge, but I don't think we ended up using any revives on this Hood. The Power Gain one we did, but I played so badly on that. We used one revive on the Power Gain Hood, which I guess wasn't too bad, but we'll talk about that in the next chapter. So we're going to end the quest now and move over to chapter 5. Just quickly cover off the Hood essentials there and explain the map a little bit. So, Chapter 5, The Trap. Let's begin the quest here. and talk about the differences. So the first fight you have for Jane Foster. Level 1, you need to slide back at the right time, but the special 2 you can just outrange, and then you probably want to take the right path for the storm, and it's easiest just to kind of bait storm special 1s, because you can just slide back and evade those. Then you got Rocket Raccoon, again with the special 1 if you can't kill him before he reaches his special 2. Rocket Raccoon's pretty easy to drop, but he's also pretty beefy in this chapter, so just try and bait as many special 1s as possible. But if you are using 3-star champions, 1 hit and your champion is almost dead, so that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. And then you go up, and then you can either choose to fight Magneto or go with Abomination, Old Man Logan, and Drax. It's probably better that you go Magneto. It's only 1 fight instead of 3. But Magneto is a little bit tricky to fight. He's still one of my weaknesses. Just try and evade that level 1. It's really, really tricky to get the timing down, but if not, just block it. That's probably the best advice there. And then you have Symbiote Spider-Man. If you have a Scarlet Witch, if you have a Magic, going to be a very, very easy opponent to deal with. And then I'd probably suggest going with the Star-Lord. Much easier to fight than Elektra, in my opinion, because you can just continually bait the level 1, and the level 1, you know, providing you can slide back at the right time, is just very, very easy to deal with the Star-Lord. And then you move on to Hood. Hood, again, is a little bit more tricky. He's much programmed to be a lot more aggressive. It even says it on the node. Heavy attacks you can't interrupt, and also has armor, so he's a bit more effective health, has close to about 100,000 effective health, and his power gain is increased by 200%, so you can only really get like 4 or 5 hits, and then he's going to have a level 1, and then you've got to slide back and evade that. That fight's really all about patience for the most part, but you know, providing you can get the timing right, it's just kind of like just bait the level 1, go in, get your 4 or 5 hits, then slide back out, and just do that over and over again. And if you want to see that in practice, all our 3-star Master Mode Challenge videos are on the channel, and I'll probably give a link to them in the description below. And then finally, we have Chapter 6, the good man himself, Mr. Dormammu. Well, ideally, you know, the best option is probably a Ronin, but a Scarlet Witch also is pretty good for Dormammu himself. Just keep him stun locked there. So the first fight you have is War Machine. War Machine is a little bit tricky. Ideally, if you can bait the level 2, get that to trigger, and then kind of swipe back at the right time to avoid the projectile, that's going to work really well. And kind of the other option there is to take a lot of block damage from his level 1 or level 2. War Machine's a little bit tricky to fight, but yeah, a bit of a pain. And then I'd probably suggest going down the path with Red Hulk, and then Phoenix. Again, Red Hulk just bait the level 1. Phoenix just outrange her specials, and beware that she will revive unless she's killed with the damage over time effect on 1 health, so she's going to start regenerating then. And then you've also got Black Bolt, and then you have Groot as well. I think for both Black Bolt and Groot, like either a Scarlet Witch or Magic, again, is a really, really great matchup. Then you have Agent Venom, who's a little bit tricky. I always find Agent Venom, especially such a stacked one in Master Mode, very difficult to fight, because he's a 70% chance to struggle full debuff, so he's very hard to parry, very hard to debuff. But you just want to try and parry and attack in as quickly as possible, or else kind of go with a similar strategy that you'd fight like a Black Panther Civil War with, where you're blocking, trying to bait those heavy attacks, and then getting your in there. It's really difficult to get an in with Agent Venom's special attacks, because they're projectile-based ones, so he's a really, really tricky enemy to find. He's definitely my kryptonite. And then when you have Dormammu, again, like Ronin or Scarlet Witch are going to be by far your best options. Any champion that stuns as well is also a pretty decent option, because in this fight both you and Dormammu have 300% power gain. So you know, if you use a Storm, if you use something like an Iron Patriot or Luke Cage or an Electro, just any champion that has like a fairly decent chance to stun, like that's probably going to be a decent addition to your team. But it's, again, without the Ronin, there's not many ways to kind of guarantee 100% stun chance. So Ronin is the most reliable way to do it, but if you have another champion that stuns, you can do it. If you also remove Dexterity as a mastery, because one of the things that Dormammu has as well is whenever a buff expires on the opponent, so something like Dexterity, that's has a potential to degenerate you for 150% of Dormammu's attack. So that's about 7,500 damage. So, you know, if you do want want this super skill strategy using magic and kind of power locking him there, you do need to be aware that you're probably going to need to drop dexterity for that. But Ronan is by far the best and simplest option to defeat Master Mode Dormammu. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, those are my tips for Master Mode Dawn of Darkness. Initially, I thought it would be one of the trickiest events, but it's a little bit, it ain't too bad. It ain't too bad, providing you take fights like the Hood very, very slow. So overall, I don't think the difficulty of this event is too high. It's just about using very smart choices for every match to deal with whatever you have. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found it useful. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.